No, I think this play particularly is really affected by the audience, and I find that it's such a weird thing. It's like it's so black. The humour of the very first scene is so black that either they get it or they don't, or they. It's not. Maybe it's not even that simple. Maybe it's just they squirm, and they don't find it funny, or they squirm but they do find it funny. And I find that it's sort of weirdly the way that they take the first scene almost dictates how it's going to be for the rest of the night. And if they get the first scene and they're laughing, then they're going to laugh. They're going to find the comedy funny. If they don't laugh in the first scene, they're going to probably be quite a serious and intense audience who are then nevertheless listening, but they're not looking for the gags.
And you know, some nights the audiences will be absolutely, totally, you know, ready to sort of laugh and go with the dark humour of the play, and other nights they will seem to be utterly, completely sort of terrified by how dark the play is. But I think it's important that there is that sort of balance of humour and the absolute, you know, opposite of that within the play, because I think otherwise, I think in a sense for me that's what works so well about theatre, is that it can at once be comic and tragic, and I think in many ways this play is, and I think one informs the other.
When I go to the theatre, I absolutely love seeing the actors' eyeballs and sweat and the whole thing happening there in front of me. I absolutely love it, and therefore, knowing how close they are, you can't get away with anything. I mean, you have to, but that's quite good too.
I think the audience at the Donmar is something that I've never kind of experienced before in any other space. It's such a fantastic space because it's so intimate, and I think that as a consequence of that, the audiences that we have in Night by Night, which change drastically, do have a direct kind of influence on the play. And I think that you just have to, you know, you just have to go with that. You have to work with that. And if it's not, you know, you will know kind of very, very quickly whether, you know, that the moments that got a laugh or a sigh or a groan or whatever it is the night previously, you know, are kind of, are going to get those kind of reactions that night, kind of, you know, in the moment. And if you're not kind of getting the same response, it's not the end of the world, but it's just, it gives you a certain indicator and a certain nudge as to where you may be going wrong, or you know, how you can kind of change it to put it back on track. And I think that's really kind of satisfying, because it makes it feel very alive. You know, you're not just going out there delivering your lines and walking off. It's a kind of organic piece, and the audience are kind of part of that. And I think that's you know, kind of what you all kind of do it for, I suppose.
I've never performed in a space like the Donmar, and it's because you know, you are so close to the audience, and it's that's thrilling. Actually, it's thrilling, and there's nowhere to hide, and especially on this production, there's no props and there's no furniture, so we really don't have anywhere to hide, and it's rather wonderful, actually. Yes, but and in this play, I have a scene where I have to deliver a lecture to the audience as though they were students, and that's quite interesting, because you know they're there, but I'm actually engaging with them and talking to them and picking individual people out and directing things at them.